Okay, my first and hopefully my only show you how video. Helicopter. Turns nice when you turn it with your hands. Blade, even contoured like a real blade. Screwed on with a screw. Otherwise, it would have to be put on with just a piece of steel through the top. Either way, it don't work as well. I don't know what the deal is with helicopters, but like in real life, they're a little scarier. Okay, it's real thin, 1/4 inch. Had to split that in half. I have all my templates on how to make everything over again. I have a bunch of what's going to be like this, the front of the plane. I have a template for that right here. Got to be cut with double blade on a table saw and a jig. You name it, I got it for everything I've built so far. This nice little garden stand, if that's what you're talking about, I will put it on that. This is an 1.25 inch dowel. It's the only thing I had at the time, so I put it together that way. This comes off. Your stand, your piece of bar stock, prop spins. I got to paint some more of it. I had made a new prop. It's a little longer. And again, a couple Phillips screws. And it comes apart. I cut a round piece of wood. I routed mine just to give it design and painted it. Same thing with that one. Round, screwed in with 1 screw. That's your stand basically. Unless you want one made. I don't have any more dowel. I'll have to go buy it. I just bought this dowel for 27 cents. I can't remember what I paid for this dowel, but I haven't used any of it. And this metal heavy duty zinc is just like these things, only much thicker. That's going to be for like the Snoopy or the longer, bigger versions. I have donated to me by somebody a stack. I can't tap these. I have a tap that goes down to about 1/8 of an inch, which is these. That's 1/8 of an inch. These are a little narrower, but you can't tap them. They're too small. So I can't tap them. I'll use them for things that I can't tap. Like I don't have one of them other ones in here to show you, but this prop you can take off. It's tapped with a piece of this stuck in there, glued. So I could tap the end of it and put these little bolts on it. There's washers in between. I got these little decals printed out of paper and glued them to it so they would, the weather, as soon as it rained one time, these would be history. Everything else is painted. All this stuff on here is painted, just this and this is not. And a little P51. The hole has to be right there by the exhaust, or it wouldn't be in the center so that it would spin with any amount of wind. Basically, the wind's going to move it, get it into the wind or away from the wind, then it'll start turning that. Very simple and easy to build. Not really a mechanism where the others have bends in them. And I really wish I could show you. I do have a small piece. They start off, say this is the back end. This is like a crank. On the front side, which would be up here, this would be in reverse. It would be bent this way. So it goes through the prop, and then this part would stick into the prop, and that way it stays there and will always spin. If this thing is turning, the prop is turning. But in actuality, this would be the back end with the part that goes up and down, making the guy hammer the wood or whatever you want it to do. All of these are the hardest to make. Like that little one I showed you that was cut. That's the hardest part of the whole thing. You have to sketch it all out, level it on the saw. I got a jig and everything, and double up your blades. Put 2 blades on the saw like a dado. And then when you cut, then you turn to the next line, cut. So I'm making 6 and 8 bladed hubs is what they call them. These are just ready to be cut for future use. Alright, and this prop, I mean, it's simply almost exactly like that. And got washers in between everything on here. No matter what I do, and when you get this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes here. The very biggest hole can go in the center of this, or it can go in either side where you see these blocks. The purpose of that is, I will show you, the very center hole is your balanced hole for straight and level, right there. Yeah, I want you to just go anyway. I'll screw this back on while I'm at it. But with that in mind, I won't screw that back in. With that in mind, that's because of this weight and balance, and then this thing is screwed in with a screw. I don't know if it's that. I tried using a piece of just the bar. Believe it's when the wind hits this blade, it's tapered up. Those blades taper down. It's the way it should be, so that wind will catch it. But what happens is the wind catches this one, and before it gets around, the wind's catching this one, wanting to push it the other way. So the guy in the video, he's got his going like this in a different hole in a different block. Try that out. That's the best method right there. And this thing will turn about that fast. That's it. I don't know what the heck. I got some other positions here, weight distribution wise, and also the thicknesses of these little pieces, because I do have some thinner ones, like this one right here is a little thinner. Pull this one out, and then it's not long enough, but the difference, that's that real thin rod I showed you. So it's different. Each hole goes a different position. You could have it going at an angle, not just forward angle, but as you can see, tilted angle. It'll tilt that way, or it'll tilt that way, or it'll tilt the other way. So there are several ways I've tried. While doing all that, I've mucked it all up with paint. It's not the greatest thing. I know I could do better. At least I thought I could. I'm not as young as I used to be. Anyway, this thing is a giver. Out of sight would be great. All the rest of them, I put them away. They're in the shed. I will get them out, put them in a box, let you know what they want, because it's got to be overweight, a certain weight distribution. I'll know how much. Until then, I'm not going to start rebuilding more of these until tomorrow. So, as you can see, this is my mess here. Poor old Freddy's got to be put off. Here's my old prop for that plane. I just made a different one. Let me show you around a little bit here. Messy, messy, messy. Has to be. I mean, I'm an organized person, but all my watercolor ink. I got an airbrush right there, but it doesn't work very well on what I'm doing. It's mostly for spray painting cakes and fingernails. I got a water bottle, a hot glue gun, my battery operated thingy, my drill. I don't even use the drill press from my Dremel because I've had it for years. It doesn't work right. The Dremel wasn't designed to work in that thing. The bottom of that Dremel, right there, it doesn't. It tightens up all the way, and then it's nowhere near grabbing it. So it's brand new. It's never been used as a drill press ever. It won't work. Same thing with the router. Little router from my Dremel tool, but I've never used it. It doesn't hold it right. They didn't design a hole down here or something. Could have took it back, but it was a Christmas gift. But yeah, all my tools, this was all empty. Everything's just cluttered up here now. Sanding paper, shields, clamps, cutters. All of this stuff normally would be in a toolbox and put away, but I use this for my ink mixing. How many of those do you think I need? They get bad, I throw them away. But this is it, Diane. I mean, I got this huge mess here, and it take all this time since I started doing it just to get 6 made. 2 of them are really simple, easy. That one and the other one out in the shed or out on the pole. That was my first one. Making this table and that table we've had for over 20 years. So I figured, well, 20 years, I'll make another one. It'll be around here for 20 years, but nobody needs them, and it's sitting here. I don't think I could ship that. I mean, I probably could. I got tons of stuff. Bolts and nuts under there. All of this you would not believe I've had forever. Model paints, glue, tape, sticks. These are water paint, putty, and then there's 2 sets of model ink down there, and there's a whole bunch more there. All my brushes. I got everything I need. It just, this hand right here, it's complaining to me. My thumb's numb. My whole hand gets cold. I have to wear a glove on it, believe it or not. And that's no lie. It really sucks having that problem. Got router bits. That's just a small portion of my router bits there. I mean, I use pieces of wood. You know, I've had that wood there for 20 years, and now I'm using it again. I use this to build these little dressers like that one right there. You can barely see it. That's all redone, brand new. It's Sierra's. But she's not getting it until she's old enough to take care of it. She tore it up. So I had to rebuild it and park it. And those are all projects up there that go to the prints in the background there. My Uncle Marvin's boat, which is back there. I'll never get to it. This is the sale stuff that I've got for that boat that I used on the boats I'm sending you. So I got enough crap and go out back and check out the shop. There's compressor. I burned his up. All my stuff. I've had this stuff all over 20 years, Diane. It's amazing. It's been in the shed. This is the shed. I have to unlock it. Woo, the dark shed. That's where I store all the wood. This is oak. Imagine this stuff. Nasty, dirty old oak. Turns into stuff like that nice shelf in my bathroom that I built. One like for Sharon. Another piece of it. Mahogany. That long piece of wood that's holding that up. That's mahogany. Sapelli mahogany. I guess that's what it's called. And then there's walnut. I got jigs. I mean, all kinds of stuff to do this work. And all my paint. Can of paint I've been using to spray all that stuff. Oh, and there's the two of those are going to be yours, I guess. Okay, and you're going to like this. This was Joshua's idea. And you probably can't hardly tell, but he says paint them different colors. So that's a multicolor boat. This is a white bladed boat. Isn't it? Nope, that's the Cranking Man. Cranking Man. Yellow bladed boat. Those two boats had the sails on them. You can hardly see the sails, but they're there. Each one both a different design. You'll be able to tell them apart. So if that's what you want, back them, put them both in different directions and put them in a box. It's still going to be roughly 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot box. I'm going to take a wild stab of about $12 to ship it. And if I sold them on the net, they're selling for $49. I don't know. I'll just, work it out whenever I get them in a box and ship them. I'll let you know. No big hurry. Okay? And I hope you got all that. This is my area, by the way. If you can't tell, I like my drums, even though they're older than me.